What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffy, and today I'm coming at you with my review of Captain America Brave New World. This is the fourth film in the Captain America franchise, and the first one featuring new Cap, Sam Wilson, the Falcon from all the other Marvel movies to this point. This movie currently sits at 51% from the critics, at least on Rotten Tomatoes, for across 239 reviews, and about 78% from 2,500 plus reviews from the audience. So the audience seems to enjoy this movie. The critics, not so much. It is as divisive as a movie could be with critics, with only 1% critics liking it a little more than the lower half there. But yeah, this movie was plagued with issues from the jump. This is a movie that was completely filmed, and then when new management took over at Disney, they didn't like what the movie was, so they basically reshot the whole thing. So this movie cost a ton of money to make, okay? It did. So I don't think Marvel was ever thinking this was going to bring in, the most money ever, but I think they just wanted to put something out there that was a coherent story that could help push their, whatever this next chapter narrative is that they're moving into these Avengers movies, forward. And I think this movie did that. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the best Marvel movie I've ever seen, but it certainly wasn't the worst. I feel like this 51% from the critics is actually a little low. I think this movie is definitely better than that. There are some truly standout action moments that are pretty cool for a MCU film. There's the fight scene over the Indian Ocean near where the Celestials coming out, the Celestial Island as they call it. That's really cool aerial shots that we don't really get too much in Marvel movies. I really enjoyed that scene. It's not a spoiler, but there's the fight with Red Hulk in the movie. That was awesome action too. So there's some awesome action set pieces thrown in there. And then there's some you don't see in the trailers that are really cool. There's a fight scene between Sam Wilson and Giancarlo Esposito's character, and it's pretty brutal, and I truly was like, oh shit, poor, like, Sam's caught off guard when this fight breaks down, and it's intense, and I truly enjoyed that. I feel like the inclusion of the character like the leader was a little underwhelming, at least as a full bad guy go. As far as full bad guys go, he wasn't the best. He could have been a little cooler, a little more fleshed out, but it was nice to see that kind of tie in. This movie, other reviews have said this, but this movie truly is kind of like tying up loose ends from the Incredible Hulk movie, but it actually works pretty well. I don't know if this should have been Sam Wilson's story necessarily. This feels like it would have been a better solo Hulk movie if they could have worked that in there. I know there's a lot of espionage and shit, so it wouldn't have worked out quite that well, but you got to see a lot of tie-ins from the Incredible Hulk movie that were really cool to kind of see fleshed out. Harrison Ford is great. I think he's great as Thunderbolt Ross, obviously stepping in after William Hurt died, so it was cool to see this character continue on, and Harrison Ford did a really good job as it. Anthony Mackie does a really good job with Sam Wilson. The messaging through this movie is, and it's laid out pretty plainly in one conversation that happens, is that, like, Steve Rogers' Captain America gave people like hope, and Sam Wilson's Captain America is going to give people something they can strive to be, essentially, right? And that's the whole point of it. There's the conversation that happens in the movie where Sam is saying, I wonder if I should have just taken the super soldier serum. It comes back in a funny joke at the end too, which I had a lot of fun with. But yeah, that's the whole debate, is like, he represents like what the best that humanity could be, right? Like what a regular everyday human could strive to be, strive to do good in a world full of crazy superpowered shit. So I enjoyed that messaging. I think it could have been fine-tuned a little bit better and flushed out through the whole story, but overall it was pretty good. Like I said, there's some really good action set pieces. There's a couple wonky action set pieces too. There's some fight choreography that just seemed like phoned in, and you know what, after they spent so much money filming the first take of this movie and then refilming it, I'm sure somewhere along the line, like, it's good enough, and just throw it in there. And again, that's to the film's detriment, but there are definitely Marvel movies that are worse than this. So that 51% critic rating really has me, scratching my head a little bit. I think this is better than Ant-Man 3. I think it is better than Iron Man 2. I think it's better than Thor 2. I think it's better than The Eternals. I think it's better than Ant-Man 2. Did I say Ant-Man 2 already? I probably already did. Ant-Man 2, I think it's better than the Marvels. I think it's better than Captain Marvel. So, I mean, it at least falls in the, like, 8 range as far as from the bottom. So, it's not that bad of a movie. It really isn't. And clearly the audience likes it, 78%. I know if there's a movie that is hated by critics and loved by audiences, I'm not always on the side of the audience. I'm usually somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I'd say I side more with the audience than I do the critics on this one. I think it's fun. I think it's fun, and it sets up at least an idea of what the MCU could be in this next phase. As far as Doomsday coming, the next Avengers movie, it gives you a little bit of breadcrumbs as to where the story's going to go. So I had a good time at the movies watching it. Like I said, it's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not the worst. So if you like the MCU, you like Marvel movies, you're probably going to have a good time with this. I recommend checking it out in theaters. Anyways, that's going to do it for my mostly non-spoiler review of Captain America Brave New World. If you saw this movie, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I would love to know where it falls on your list as far as Marvel movies go. I'd like to know what you liked about it. I'd like to know what you hated about it. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll come at you with a probably full-blown review on this movie this Thursday on the Random Things podcast. So check us out there. Bye.